Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel, i.e. that is iconic Eunice. I'm super excited to have you guys here today with me, and we have a little bit of a different setup just because I wanted to change the space up and give you guys a little variation. Today we're going to actually start a new series on the channel underneath Fashion Talk, and we're going to start a series called What's That Style? And basically this series will just be breaking down different styles in the fashion industry and how you can possibly apply them into your day-to-day lifestyle and how you can play around with them, and also exactly what those styles are. And that's what we're going to be starting with. And for this particular style, we'll be talking about the classic. I feel like it's very important that we start with the classic. I think all style closet have a little bit of the classic in them. So the classic for me is something that's like minimalist, traditional, and it's really straight to the point. I believe like a classic woman, in my opinion, the classic woman usually is very tailored all the time. She does very minimal makeup. Her outfits are very direct. They usually are solid colors. She likes to accentuate her silhouette, but she doesn't like to give a lot out, meaning she likes to keep a lot of her body to the imagination while still kind of outlining her figure. Her hair is usually no fuss. She usually carries herself very well, very graceful. So when you're thinking of a classic woman, try to think of like Meghan Markle, Michelle Obama, Kerry Washington. I think these women in the African American and in the Black community usually epitomize a classic look. And someone like Michelle, I feel like she even takes the classic look a little further because she doesn't mind playing with prints. She will usually play with prints, but she will just make sure they're fun and they're effortless. So it's not that the classic woman only has to wear solid colors, only has to wear neutrals. She can play with prints. You just have to make sure it's not very forceful and it's not over the top. That's mostly what you're paying attention to when it comes to being a classic girl. I think a classic woman is usually very extremely feminine. Mind you, however, you can bring a little bit of a masculine touch into a classic look by playing around with blazers and maybe wide leg pants. Those are ways you can bring masculine touches into a extremely feminine style such as the classic. So first off, we want to talk about dress. So usually when I see classic women, with the kind of clothes and kind of dresses I see them in most of the time is they're usually form-fitting, or if they're not super form-fitting, they're going to have a little bit of room, but they're not baggy. So this woman, like I said earlier, really wants to accentuate a lot of her curves, but she also wants to leave a lot to the imagination. So if her dress is going to be form-fitting, it's usually cinched in the waist area, and also it's usually either close to the knee or below the knee. Now, in today's culture, I think a lot of girls are not really keeping to that traditional of knee-length clothing, but most classic women tend to go knee-length or right above the knee. Anything shorter is still, depending on how the dress is made or like the fabric you're using, can still come off as classic, but you don't want it to be so short that it's going into another direction. So if they're going to do off the shoulder, then the dress will probably reach to the knees, and then if they're going to do a sensible slit up the thigh, then they'll have their shoulders or chest covered, and usually their waist is cinched in. Or if they're going to play with a more flowy look, it's going to be a asymmetrical style, meaning it's not super poofy, but it's like a little bit looser, like around the waist area. So usually this dress will come in like this and then flares out. That's like what an asymmetrical style will look like. So that's for dresses though. For day to day, a classic woman is going to usually wear either a button-down shirt with like blue or black jeans on a super casual day for her. And then usually she will tap into knitwear, very well done knitwear, meaning like she would do a sweater and she would do it with like khaki, or she will probably throw on a blazer. Also, a day-to-day for this woman depends on her career. So if you're just a classic girl who is probably more of a stay-at-home woman who has an entrepreneurial lifestyle, you might then tap into more blousy, loose-fitting tops that will allow you to move around the house a lot easier while still probably wearing a tailored shorts or wearing a tailored peg ankle length pants. If she's more of a career-oriented girl and she's usually in the office, you will see her in a lot of dresses that are a little cinched in the waist, like I was saying earlier, or you will see her in a pantsuit skirt. Or another thing that she will be wearing a lot is blazers. Like I said, a classic girl usually wants to cover up as much as possible. I don't think there are women who do not like to show off their body. I just think they like to do it in a very conservative way. And not all classic women really tap into the traditional statement of what classic style is. Some women even venture out a little bit more and they might show the shoulders, they might show their arms a lot. So it doesn't necessarily mean you have to be like this extremely pigeonholed individual. You could be very loose with your style. It just means that you have to just look extremely tailored at all times. When it comes to things like shoes, a classic girl, for what I know and from what I've seen around, a classic girl is not going to do a 6-inch stilettos because it's not practical. The idea of classic is for you to be elevated, comfortable. So whereas in some women just like the natural look, a natural girl is just going to be extremely comfortable. A classic girl wants to elevate her comfort. So if she's going to do heels, they're not going to be 6-inch, stilettos, and they're not going to be 6-inch platforms. They're going to be between a kitten heel, and it's not going to be a stripper heel either. So it's going to be right in the middle. Usually I see them a lot in pointy toe shoes, and they usually have a sensible heel that makes sense for them, that will allow them to walk easily, that will also allow them to move about their day very easily. Another thing that I forgot to mention, when it comes to shoes, a classic girl loves a good pair of loafers. She will do heels and she will do a good pair of loafers that will elevate her look. And then in the springtime, she might do sandals. A good mule, closed-toe mule is another classic girl's friendly, depending on how it looks. Very simple and to the point. When it comes to things like hair, her hair is usually either straight, and if she's African American or Black woman, if she's going to do her hair natural, it's usually done in a particular style. So either she would do a twist out that will have her hair sit in a bob-like shape, or she will do braids. I know a lot of people don't think, oh, if you do braids, you can be classic, but honestly, you can pull off the classic look with braids. So if you do cornrows all the way to the back, you can definitely tap into the classic girl aesthetics. You can also do your hair slick back ponytail, or if you have braids like mine, you can easily just tuck your hair to the back, straight down your back, as I have mine currently. It's usually pushed away from the face. It's usually put in a ponytail, or it is put in a low bun, something that's just going to take your hair away from your face and just show off more of your features. When it comes to makeup, this type of makeup look can be considered a classic look because it's simple. Though I did do up my eyes, my lips are not overtly done. So basically for classic, you want to make sure if your eyes are going to be done, your lips are a little bit more simple, your jewelry is a little bit more simple, your necklace is simple, stuff like that. So for classic makeup, you want to stick, especially if you're a Black woman, you want to stick to browns, neutrals, and things like that for your eyes. And then maybe you can play around with a little bit of pink, nudes, and even a red. If you're daring, you can do a red for your lips. Now if you're doing bolder colors in your lips, then your eyes have to be settled. But if you're doing a bright eye, then your lips have to be settled. So whatever feature you're playing up, make sure you're toning down another, so that way the look is not overtly done. You know what I'm saying? Like you're trying to be elevated and you're trying to look very put together at all times in a very minimal, effortless way. And for jewelry, I see a lot of classic girls wear pearls a lot. They will play around with gold, but it's usually very minimalistic jewelry, very simple necklaces, very simple rings, very simple earrings. The classic woman wants everything in a very neutral tone, in a very solid tone, minimal print, minimal fuss, as I've been saying throughout this video. Some of the stores that epitomize classic beauty, I would say for one, you can buy the classic look anywhere. You just have to know exactly what you're looking for, which is like solid colors, button-down shirts, blouses that are a little bit more traditional. You want to make sure those are the things you're looking for. If you were thinking, oh, I am not a classic girl, but I want to start dressing like a classic girl, so I would like to go to these stores or to these websites to see if I could find classic pieces or see how they style them, then you could check out Mango. I believe Mango really just epitomize classic beauty. Even like the black women on Mango are usually very toned down, very simple looks, and their outfits are always on point. I personally go to Mango for inspiration, so you can check out Mango. You can also check out Zara. Zara is a place where you can get some timeless items that will fit into your wardrobe. Then you have Aritzia. Aritzia is also more in tune with like neutrals and, you know, casual wear that is elevated. And then you can check out your local thrift stores. Come to find out, your local thrift store is one of the good spots. You can definitely find some classic piece if you're on a budget. For all my budget set girls, because I think like the classic look, because of the type of materials that go into having a very tailored look, she can be a little expensive, just a little bit, because you got to think about your material makes the outfit a lot of the times, and if you're buying cheap material, your outfit might come off as just that cheap. So to avoid looking cheap while still being on a budget, you can go down to your local thrift store. Most of these clothes that are in the local thrift stores are like from different stores. Like you can find Attire, which is also another classic girl's best friend. You can probably even find like Tory Burch, stuff like that. You can find them in the thrift store in the collected area, but for less price. Not as expensive as what they are in the department stores or the direct-to-consumer stores. For a huge department store, I will say, though Nordstrom carries a lot of clothes, a lot of different style of clothing, I think Nordstrom is a really good start to go and check out a classic wardrobe. I think Nordstrom kind of epitomizes and like explains what a classic look looks like. But Nordstrom also caters to other styles. So in this series, I'll probably mention Nordstrom a lot. That's just what's going to have to happen, because they cater to everybody. But I feel like a Nordstrom customer is usually a classic girl. Just say it. She's usually in the category of classic. Let's talk about clothing item. For the classic look, key things you want to have in your wardrobe. You want to have a good pair of khakis that are tailored to the body, preferably in tan, navy, and black. You want to have a good pair of jeans. You want to have the traditional blue jeans, black jeans. You can even do the wide leg jeans, and then lots of button down shirts. So you can do black, navy, brown, white. Those are the key colors you want to put in your closet when it comes to button down shirts. And then if you want to have a little bit of fun, you can do prints. So maybe you can even do a print like what I have on. You can do stripes. Those are prints that I see a lot of in a classic woman's wardrobe. You can also play around with bold prints. Just make sure whatever you're going to put over it is neutralizing that print. So another thing a classic woman wants to have in her wardrobe is a good trench coat, a good pea coat, a good blazer. You want to have a pea coat for when it's cold and a trench coat also for when it's cold. And then you want to have a good blazer just because if you're a career girl, you want to make sure you are covered a little. So if you have a blouse that's like short sleeve or maybe a little bit sleeveless, then you want to put your blazer over it so that way you're covered. That's mostly what it's given in the classic category. So for your purses and things like that nature, you want to make sure you are using solid colors such as browns, tans, black. You can carry white as well. You can also play around with prints when it comes to your purses, but just make sure it's not over the top. They also tend to stay away from a lot of designer labels showing. So you know, like when sometimes you buy the Louis Vuitton and it's like Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton, Louis Vuitton everywhere. A classic girl might rock that. I'm not saying classic girls don't rock that, but they tend to want solid colors. So when it says the designer's name all over the print, all over the bags or all over the jacket, they will usually stay away from that and just buy something that's neutral. Anything that's like solid color, that's what they will lean towards. So that's it for like shoes, dresses, everyday wear. But main thing from this, if you don't take anything else away, just know that the classic woman, her look is very no fuss, very simple, very to the point. She is not looking for a whole lot of bells and whistles. She doesn't want her hair to do too much. She doesn't want her nails to do too much. She wants her outfits to say, I'm here, but please, I'm here about my business. That's a classic girl's look. If this makes sense to you and you know you're a classic girl and I forgot something, go ahead and comment it down below and then we can help each other figure out our styles a little bit more. But I think I'm going to wrap up the video here. I am so thankful for you watching all the way to this end. I hope this is going to be beneficial to you. I hope this is going to help you build out your closet. I will try to do other styles as well as the series continue. And then we might even circle back over to the classic girl look and maybe talk about the history and where it's from. Today, I just wanted to give you like an overarching overview of what a classic girl looks like. And then just to name a few women of color that were giving off this style that you can possibly look up to and see what their styles is and see if you can mimic those or if you can replicate them in your closet. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys in another video. Have a good day.
Walk through the fire, the sound of a